The Warriors role players are awesome. Since they got Jimmy Butler, what's standing out even more than the record is how good their role players have been. Over the last 18 games, their second unit has put up some of the best numbers in the entire league. And I'm not just saying that, the stats back it up from every angle. First off, they're 7th in points per game. That's not something you usually see from a team's bench. Scoring that high means they're giving the starters a break and keeping the offense rolling at a high level. You need that kind of production if you're planning to make a serious playoff push, and the Warriors are getting it. This group isn't out there just to kill time. They're adding to leads, and they're doing it almost every night. They're also 4th in field goals made, which is a pretty big deal. It shows they're not relying on free throws or lucky shots to score. They're hitting shots from the floor and making it look easy. On top of that, they're 3rd in field goal percentage. That's efficiency. They're not forcing bad shots or chucking up prayers. They're getting great looks, moving the ball, and knocking them down. And honestly, that's one of the reasons they've been able to stay so consistent over this stretch. Rebounding is another area where they're dominating. They're 3rd in offensive rebounds, which gives them extra possession. Anytime you get more chances to score, you're making life easier on your team. And they're not just crashing the offensive glass. They're 3rd in total rebounds overall. That means they're controlling the boards on both ends of the floor. You can't underestimate how important that is. Grabbing rebounds keeps the other team from getting second chance points and helps you control the pace of the game. And the defense, it's been incredible. They're ranked 4th in steals and 3rd in blocks over these 18 games. That tells me they're active and locked in. They're creating turnovers, getting hands in passing lanes, and contesting shots at the rim. That kind of effort is contagious, and it makes the whole team better. Every time they step on the floor, they're making things happen on the defensive end. Now, here's the number that really jumps off the page. They're 2nd in plus minus during the stretch. That means when the bench is in the game, the Warriors are outscoring their opponents by a big margin. It's not just about holding a lead, they're expanding it. They're shifting momentum and taking over games while the starters get a breather. That kind of impact makes a huge difference, especially this late in the season. Since Jimmy Butler arrived, this Warriors bench has turned into one of the best units in the league. They've got the numbers to prove it, and they're playing with a ton of energy every single night. But I want to talk about the players specifically. Let's start with Pods. When Steph Curry sits, most Warriors fans brace themselves. It's been the pattern for years. Offense stalls, shots stop falling, and things can get dicey fast. But this year, Brandin Pods is flipping that script. He's not just filling minutes, he's stepping up in a huge way and making sure the Warriors don't miss a beat. Against Milwaukee, he came back from injury and dropped 17 points on 4 of 7 shooting from deep. Oh, and he grabbed 7 rebounds too. That's not just some lucky game, that's what he's been doing all season long. By the way, if you guys want to watch a more fun style of video, I started a new channel. In the first video, I went over every NBA championship ever. So of course I went over the Dubs dynasty. I left a link to the first video in the description, pinned comment, and I'll leave a link at the end of this video if you want to finish this one first. I genuinely appreciate if you could check this channel out. Thanks. Anyways, the Dubs. The Warriors are 7-3 this season when Curry sits. A big reason for that is Pods, averaging 13.9 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 4.8 assists in those games. That's a complete stat line, and he's filling it up without needing the ball in his hands every play. He's finding his spots, rebounding like a forward, and making smart decisions. I checked StatHead to see how rare his games have been. Since the 2014 season, only 5 Warriors guards have had games with at least 4 made 3-pointers, 17 points, and 7 rebounds. Curry has done it 117 times. Klay Thompson, 19. D'Angelo Russell and Donte DiVincenzo each have 4. And then there's Pods, already with 4 of those games in just a season and a half. That's more than Jordan Poole had his entire time with the Warriors. He's knocking down shots, hitting the glass, and making winning plays. It's not something you expect from a player taken 19th in the draft. When the Warriors moved on from Klay and Poole, plenty of people questioned if they had a plan. Well, they did. It was just quiet. Pods was the answer nobody saw coming, and he's proving the front office right. His rebounding is elite for a guard. At 6'4", he's consistently punching above his weight. He leads the team in charges drawn and took more charges as a rookie than 20 other entire NBA teams. That's not luck, that's hustle and IQ. And he's doing it without demanding a ton of shots. He's efficient and understands where he fits. He's already got the floor awareness of a 10-year vet. Watching him, you can tell he sees things develop before they happen. It's not about flashy passes or wild moves. It's about smart plays. And that's why Steve Kerr trusts him so much. He plays within the system, but makes things happen. He's not the next Klay Thompson, and he's not trying to be. But he's showing the Warriors found something special. He's the kind of role player that turns into a core piece down the line. Last season, Pods became the first Warriors rookie since Chris Webber in 1994 to record at least 600 points, 400 rebounds, and 200 assists. He was also the only rookie to lead his team in plus-minus, finishing at plus 264. That's not normal. And this year, he's building on that. His net rating is plus 6.5. His offensive rating is 113.5, and his defensive rating is 107.0. That puts him in the top tier across the league. Pods ranks higher than 83% of players in on-off ratings. When he's on the floor, the Warriors are 2.8 points better per 100 possessions than when he's off. That's a real impact. He's not just filling space out there, he's shifting the game in their favor. His assist numbers are strong too. He's averaging 3.3 assists per game, which ranks him above 75% of players in the league. His assist percentage is 19.29, meaning nearly 1 in 5 teammate field goals are coming off his passes when he's on the court. That's huge for a secondary ball handler. And he's taking care of the ball. His turnover percentage is just 7.63. He's only turning it over 1.1 times per game while having the ball in his hands plenty. He's ranking better than 80% of players in turnover rate. On defense, he's ranked in the 96th percentile. His steals are at 1.1 per game with 0.2 blocks, but it's his defensive rebounding that stands out most. He's grabbing 3.8 defensive boards a game. That kind of presence helps the Warriors close out possessions and get back in transition. And his rebounding overall, he's pulling down 4.9 boards a game. His offensive rebounding percentage is 3.58, and his defensive rebounding percentage is 14.64. That ranks him above 66% of NBA players on the defensive glass. For a guard, that's outstanding. Pods' usage rate is 17.6%, which means he's involved in just under 1 in 5 offensive possessions that end in a shot, turnover, or assist. He's averaging 9.1 field goal attempts, 1.5 free throw attempts, 3.3 assists, and 1.1 turnovers per game. That adds up to 52.6 possessions, where he's making something happen or helping set up a play. The best part about Pods is how he fits the Warriors system. He's not trying to be a star, but he's doing everything they need. He plays defense, rebounds, makes smart passes, and hits open shots. He does the little things that add up. And when Steph Curry sits, Pods keeps the team on track. Coach Kerr is giving him more and more responsibility because he's earned it. Draymond Green has talked about how Pods has already figured out how to defend at a high level, and Curry clearly respects what he brings to the team. Pods may not be a household name across the league yet, but if he keeps putting up these numbers, that's going to change. He's showing that you do not need to be a lottery pick to make a real difference. Brandin Pods was picked 19th overall, and now he's one of the most important players on a team trying to compete for another title. For a franchise, balancing the end of the Curry era and what comes next, Pods looks like a bridge to the future. After him though, let's talk about Moody. The Warriors are now 20-2 when Moses Moody starts. That stat alone tells a pretty clear story. Anytime he's in the starting lineup, they just win. And it's not always because of his scoring. Sometimes it's the things he does that don't show up in the box score. Draymond Green said it best after Moody went 0 for 5 from the field in a game, but still made a massive impact. He played 28 minutes without making a single shot, and Steve Kerr left him out there. That says a lot about how much trust he's earned. The Warriors value what he brings every time he's on the court. Offensively, he's been steady this season. He's averaging 9.9 points per game, which ranks him higher than 66% of players in the league. He's not out there gunning for 20 shots a night, but when he gets his chances, he makes them count. His effective field goal percentage is 55.3, meaning he's scoring 1.1 points per shot attempt. That's a solid number for someone who's not always the first or second option on offense. And then there's his true shooting percentage, which is 58.8. That number measures scoring efficiency by factoring in free throws, and Moody's getting 1.2 points per scoring attempt. For a guy who averages only 7.6 shots and 1.9 free throws a game, that's efficient basketball. He's picking his spots and not forcing things, and that fits perfectly with how the Warriors play. When you look at his offensive rating, it's 116.1. That's a strong number and shows how well the team operates when he's on the floor. His defensive rating is 110.9, which is solid for a player in his role. That gives him a net rating of plus 5.2. He's helping the team win both offensively and defensively. The mixed teamwork metric puts him ahead of 77% of players across the league. That just highlights how much of a positive impact he's making. In games where he plays, 54.8% of the time, he finishes with a positive plus-minus. And in the on-off numbers, the team is plus 0.4 when he's on the floor compared to when he's off. That shows he's making a difference. Even if it's not always in a huge scoring burst, he's holding his own and keeping the Warriors steady. Defensively, Moody has stepped up in a major way. He's ahead of 64% of players in the mixed team defense metric. His steal numbers sit at 0.7 per game, and he's blocking 0.4 shots. On the defensive glass, he's averaging 1.8 rebounds a night. It's not just about raw stats, though. His team defensive efficiency is 110.9. That's a big reason Steve Kerr keeps trusting him with bigger assignments. Moody's usage rate is 17.7%. That means he's involved in nearly 1 in 5 offensive possessions when he's on the court. He's taking 7.6 field goal attempts, 1.9 free throw attempts, 1.2 assists, and turning the ball over just 0.7 times per game. That totals up to about 44.2 possessions per game where he's making something happen or helping keep the offense moving. He's not the flashiest player on the roster, but that's what makes him so effective. He's reliable, he makes smart decisions, and he plays within the Warriors system without trying to do too much. The coaching staff clearly trusts him because of the little things he brings every game. What's interesting is how much his defensive impact has developed. Draymond Green mentioned it, and you can see it in the stats. He's keeping his man in check, rotating well, and contesting shots. Even when his own shot isn't falling, he stays locked in on defense. That effort wears teams down over the course of a game, and it helps the Warriors build leads. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I'd genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Moody. His rebounding numbers may not pop off the screen, but he gets key boards when they need them, and he's not afraid to mix it up with bigger guys inside. At one point, 8 defensive rebounds per game, he's doing his part. Combine that with his ability to guard multiple positions, and you get a versatile piece the Warriors can plug in almost anywhere. The offensive side is steady too. He's knocking down 1.6 2-point field goals and 1.7 3-point field goals per game. For someone who isn't getting a ton of plays called for him, he's finding ways to score. His shooting splits back it up with his efficiency across all areas. And when you factor in that he's also getting to the line for almost 2 free throws a game, he's staying aggressive without forcing shots. When the Warriors are winning games with him in the lineup, it's not just coincidence. They're 20-2 for a reason. Moody does all the little things that help win games. He guards his man, moves without the ball, spaces the floor, and hits open shots. And he's doing it all while keeping turnovers low. Only 0.7 turnovers per game, which puts him in the upper half of the league in taking care of the ball. Moody's development is one of the biggest reasons the Warriors have been able to stay competitive this season. He's stepping into a bigger role and handling it like a pro. And it's not just about scoring. He's impacting the game in all areas. Whether it's defense, rebounding, or just playing smart basketball, Moses Moody is giving Golden State exactly what they need. And as the season goes on, that kind of contribution becomes even more valuable. But then let's talk about Post. It's impossible to overlook what Quinten Post has brought to this team since stepping into the rotation full time. His role has been massive, and the numbers are backing it up every single night. Quinten Post was picked 52nd overall in the second round of the 2024 NBA draft. He came out of Boston College after a strong 5th year, where he averaged 17 points, 8.1 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and 1.7 blocks. He also hit 43.1% of his 3-point shots. That kind of shooting stroke from a 7-footer caught the Warriors' attention. And now we're seeing exactly why. Since the Butler trade, the Warriors have needed guys who can knock down open shots. Butler, Curry, and Draymond are drawing plenty of defensive attention. Quinten Post has made life easier for all of them. He's shooting 41.4% from 3 this season and making 1.7 threes per game. That's the best percentage on the team right now. For a Warriors squad that has lacked size in recent years, Post's ability to stretch the floor as a 7-footer has added a whole new element to their offense. In 31 games this year, including 13 starts, Post has been productive in every area they've needed. Tuesday night against Milwaukee, he finished with 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal in 23 minutes. He knocked down 4 threes, and his presence forced Brook Lopez away from the rim. That kind of spacing changes everything. It opens up lanes for Curry and Butler to drive and gives the Warriors better looks all over the court. What makes Post even more valuable is how quick his release is for a player his size. He's getting catch and shoot opportunities on skip passes because defenders sag off, and he makes them pay. Whether it's in transition or half-court sets, he's knocking down shots from everywhere. His ability to move and shoot on the run has given them options they just didn't have before he joined the lineup. Post has also shown some ball handling ability. He's comfortable taking the ball up the court and finding the open man in transition. He's averaging 1.4 assists per game, and his assist percentage is 13.73. That's a solid number for a big man in the system. He's assisting on nearly 14% of his teammates' made shots when he's on the floor. He keeps the ball moving and plays unselfish basketball, which fits perfectly into how the Warriors like to play. His effective field goal percentage is 60.4, ranking him above 87% of players in the league. That means he's scoring 1.2 points per field goal attempt. His true shooting percentage is even better at 61.6, putting him ahead of 84% of players. He's making the most of every scoring opportunity. On top of that, he's averaging 8.6 points per game, despite taking just 6.8 shots and 0.6 free throws per game. That efficiency has been key for Golden State's second unit. Rebounding has also been a bright spot for Post. He's averaging 3.8 rebounds per game, with 2.9 coming on the defensive end and 1 on the offensive glass. His offensive rebounding percentage is 5.61, and his defensive rebounding percentage is 17.76. Those numbers rank him above 68 and 79% of players, respectively. He's grabbing boards at a rate that makes a difference, especially for a Warriors team that's often played small in the past. While Post isn't known for his defense, he's holding his own. He's using his length and positioning to make up for what he lacks in shot blocking ability. His turnover percentage is 8.78, which keeps him in control on offense. He's only averaging 0.8 turnovers per game, and for a rookie playing major minutes, that's impressive. He's limiting mistakes and staying disciplined. Post's usage rate is 20.3%, which means he's ending just over 20% of the Warriors' possessions with a shot, turnover, or assist when he's on the court. That's a sign of trust from the coaching staff. He's involved in almost everything they're doing offensively when he's out there. He's taking 6.8 shots, 0.6 free throws, averaging 1.4 assists, and less than 1 turnover per game over 33.8 possessions. There's also a fun stat to mention. Through his first 31 NBA games, Post has made 53 three-pointers. That's more than Steph Curry made in his first 31 games back in 2009 when he hit 40. Sure, the game has changed since then, and Curry helped reshape it, but Post being ahead of that mark is still wild to think about. After the win against Milwaukee, Post was seen chatting with Curry on the bench after a couple of mistakes. Curry told him to stay cool, keep his head, and play with aggression. Post mentioned that Curry told him he's been dealing with being targeted for 16 years. That's the kind of leadership that's helped Post grow quickly. He's learning from some of the best, and it's showing. Right now, Post is still developing, but the results have been impressive. He's giving the Warriors spacing, shooting, and smart decision-making. And if his defense continues to improve, the Warriors become even more dangerous heading into the postseason. For a guy taken 52nd in the draft, Post is already proving he can hang with the best of them. Then we can talk about JK. JK's return to the Warriors could not have come at a better time. After missing 31 games with a right ankle sprain, JK made his way back to the lineup on March 13th, 2025 against the Sacramento Kings. And since stepping back on the court, he's made a huge difference. Golden State had already been rolling with Jimmy Butler in the mix, but JK's return added another layer that's made them even tougher to deal with. In that first game back, JK came off the bench and played 20 minutes. Even with a restriction, he dropped 18 points on 8 for 11 shooting. That's 72.7% from the field. He threw down 3 dunks in the fourth quarter alone and looked every bit as explosive as he did before the injury. The Warriors won that game 130-104. It was clear right away he was ready to contribute again. Through his first 5 games back, JK's averaged 13.4 points per game. That's down from his pre-injury mark of 16.8 points. But considering he's still on a minutes limit, it makes sense. He's averaging 23.4 minutes in those games. The efficiency has been solid, especially around the basket, where his athleticism gives him an advantage almost every time. And while he hasn't been taking a ton of threes, his rim pressure makes life easier for Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. On the glass, JK's averaging 3.4 rebounds since returning. That's a bit lower than his pre-injury average of 5 boards per game, but it's not surprising. With Butler now in the rotation and Draymond always hunting for rebounds, JK hasn't needed to crash the glass as much. His 3-rebound game against the Kings was followed by a 5-rebound night in Game 2, showing he's still active when he needs to be. What's been most interesting is the bump in his playmaking. Before the injury, he averaged 2.2 assists per game. Since returning, that number's jumped to 3 assists per game. In Game 2, he handed out 5 assists, a clear sign that he's starting to read defenses better and make smarter plays. It helps that with Butler drawing so much attention, JK has found himself with space to either attack or find teammates cutting off the ball. Defensively, he's held his own. He's averaging 0.8 steals per game and has recorded blocks in a couple of these contests as well. In the Kings game, he had 1 steal and stayed active on that end. Steve Kerr has praised his ability to bring energy in short bursts, using his 6'7" frame to bother opponents. He's not the team's primary stopper, but he's been valuable when they need length and athleticism on the wings. Shooting-wise, JK's been efficient when attacking the rim. His 8-for-11 outing against the Kings set the tone. Pre-injury, he was shooting 45.9% from the field. In these 5 games back, while we don't have a full percentage breakdown, it's clear he's finishing at a high rate near the basket. His 3-point shooting hasn't been a focus since the return. He was hitting 34.5% from deep before the injury, and while he shot 40% in December, he hasn't taken many threes so far in this stretch. What's been impressive is how seamlessly he's fit back in, despite all the changes. Golden State went 12-1 with Butler before JK returned, so there was concern about disrupting chemistry. But he's adapted to his bench role without forcing things. His slashing ability and finishing at the rim give the Warriors a different dimension when he's on the floor. Kerr has started experimenting with JK in closing lineups alongside Curry, Butler, and Green. Whether the 5th spot goes to Moses Moody, Brandin Pods, or someone else is still up in the air, but JK's spot seems secure. Physically, he's looked strong. There were reports of swellings delaying his rehab, but there's been no mention of setbacks since his return. Kerr mentioned in practice that JK had regained his pop, and that's exactly what we've seen on the court. Mentally, he's admitted to feeling nervous about coming back into a team that was already rolling. Draymond Green told him the team needed him in a major way, and that seems to have helped him settle in. The Warriors have continued to win since his return. His 18-point performance off the bench against Sacramento helped blow the game open, and he's continued to give them valuable minutes since. Kerr has also been able to stagger minutes more effectively, keeping either Butler or JK on the floor when Curry rests. That's helped maintain offensive pressure without overloading any one player. Statistically, here's the comparison. Pre-injury, JK was averaging 16.8 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.2 assists in 26 minutes per game. His field goal percentage was 45.9, and he was shooting 34.5% from 3. Since coming back, he's putting up 13.4 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 3 assists in 23.4 minutes. His scoring is down slightly, but the playmaking bump has been noticeable, and his efficiency around the rim looks as sharp as ever. There's still time for JK to ramp up further. As of March 21st, the Warriors have 16 games left before the playoffs. Kerr has hinted that JK could reclaim a starting spot if things go smoothly. Whether he stays as a 6th man or jumps back into the starting 5, he's clearly part of the closing group in important games. His return has brought back a level of athleticism that Golden State was missing. He's not just a dunker, though the 3 dunks in the 4th quarter against Sacramento reminded everyone what he can do. He's someone who can finish through contact, make smart cuts, and now find open teammates when the defense collapses on him. As he gets more comfortable in this new rotation, expect his minutes to climb and his impact to grow. The Warriors are looking to make a deep playoff run, and JK's return makes them even tougher. His ability to adapt, play within the system, and provide bursts of scoring and defense has already made a difference. And with more time to get his legs under him, he could be one of the X factors down the stretch. But then I want to talk about Hield. Buddy Hield has been exactly what the Warriors needed this season. Since they brought him in through that 6-team trade back in July of 2024, he's been a huge addition to their rotation. He's played 70 games through March 21st, and even though he's primarily come off the bench, he's making a massive impact. His minutes are down from his career averages, but that's more about Golden State's depth than anything else. At 25.8 minutes per game, he's fitting into a system that already includes Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, JK, and Andrew Wiggins, and he's thriving in his role. Hield's scoring has been steady all year. He's averaging 12.4 points per game, which is a little lower than his career average, but that's expected. with him as the third or fourth option most nights. His field goal percentage is sitting at 43.2%, almost identical to his career average, and his three-point shooting has been solid. He's at 38.7% from deep, and while that's dipped from his hot start to the season, he's still one of the most reliable shooters on the team. What's really impressive is the volume. Hield's knocking down 2.7 threes per game, leading the Warriors in that category and ranking among the top 10 across the league. Through 70 games, he's already hit over 189 threes. If he keeps this pace up, he's got a chance to break his own career high of 288 threes from the 2019 season with Sacramento. His free throw shooting has been lights out too. He's hitting 87.5% from the line, which is a career best for him. That kind of consistency has made him a go-to guy in clutch moments. And even though rebounding isn't his main focus, he's still pulling in 3.1 boards a game, right in line with his career numbers when you account for his minutes. Hield's passing has also improved. He's averaging 2.6 assists per game, which is right there with his numbers from last season. That slight uptick reflects how well he's fitting into the Warriors' ball movement heavy offense. He's not forcing plays, but he's making the right reads. On the defensive side, he's averaging 0.8 steals per game. That matches his career numbers. But there have been games where he's shown flashes, like the 2 steals he grabbed against Charlotte on March 18th. One of the best things about Hield's game this year has been his ball security. He's averaging just 1.2 turnovers per game. That's impressive for a guy who handles the ball and takes a lot of shots. He's clearly bought into what Golden State wants him to do, and he's doing it without making mistakes. He started the season on fire. In the first 12 games, he averaged 18 points per game on 49.5% shooting from the field and 47% from 3. He was making 5.2 threes per game during that stretch, leading the league and drawing MVP buzz early in the season. In the opener against Portland on October 23rd, he dropped 22 points and went 5 for 7 from deep. 2 nights later, he poured in 27 points on 7 for 9 shooting from 3 against Utah. In those first 2 games, he hit 12 threes, the most ever by a player in his first 2 games with a new team. That start helped carry the Warriors early on, especially with Curry sitting out a couple games. They went 2-0 without Steph in that stretch, and Hield stepped up as the primary scorer. But there was a slump. Between late November and early December, his numbers dropped. Over 8 games, he averaged just 10.6 points, shooting 37.5% from the field and 38% from 3. The team struggled too, going 2-6 during that stretch. It was clear how much they needed Hield's shooting to open things up. After the All-Star break, though, he bounced back. From February 27th through March 20th, he's been averaging around 14.5 points per game, with a 3-point percentage hovering near 40%. Against Sacramento on March 14th, he scored 22 points on 8 for 11 shooting, including 5 for 8 from 3. 3 nights later, against Portland, he went for 20 points, hitting 6 of his 9 threes and adding 7 assists and 2 steals. That kind of performance has become normal for him over this recent stretch. He's hit 5 or more threes in 10 games this season, with 6 of those coming off the bench. His 189 threes through 70 games rank him second in the league behind Curry. He's on pace to challenge his personal record for made threes, and there's a chance he passes it by the end of the season. When Hield shoots 40% or better from 3, the Warriors' offense is almost unstoppable. His 6 for 9 performance against Portland showed how dangerous they are when he's hot. In games where he's scored 19 or more points, they're 11-0. He gives them that spark off the bench that they've needed since Clay left. His 12.4 points per game off the bench rank among the best 6-man outputs this season. He's also helped their transition game. Hield is scoring 1.7 points per possession in transition, which puts him in the 96th percentile. His willingness to gamble defensively has paid off, triggering fast breaks where he either finishes with a 3 or finds cutters like JK. The Warriors have jumped from 15th to 3rd in transition frequency this year, and Hield's a big reason why. His fit with Curry and Butler has been seamless. Defenses have to respect him when he's on the floor, and that gives Curry and Butler room to operate. He moves without the ball constantly, sprinting off screens and flaring out like a younger Klay Thompson. Draymond Green takes advantage of that with his passing, often finding Hield for open shots in rhythm. Against Charlotte on March 18th, Hield had 16 points on 4 for 9 from deep. He played perfectly alongside Curry, who scored 21, and Butler, who posted a triple-double. The Warriors won that game, 128-92, and it was another example of how Hield's shooting complements their star. Buddy Hield has become one of the most important pieces of this Warriors team. His shooting keeps their offense dynamic, and his ability to come off the bench and deliver consistent scoring has made them deeper than they've been in years. With Hield firing away, Golden State looks dangerous every time he's on the court. And lastly, I want to talk about Looney. Has spent the season doing what he's always done best, anchoring the Warriors' defense and providing stability. Now in his 10th NBA season, he's embraced a reduced role, but his impact is still undeniable. Through March 21st, he's played in 70 games, missing just a few due to minor injuries, including a nasal bone issue earlier in the year. While his minutes have dipped to 16.2 per game, a career low, he's making every second count. Looney's averaging 4.8 points per game. That's down from his career high of 7 points back in the 2023 season, but scoring isn't what the Warriors ask from him anymore. His job is to rebound, defend, and keep the offense flowing with his screens and passing, and he's doing all of that at a high level. On the glass, Looney's been huge. He's pulling down 6.4 rebounds a game, and 2.5 of those are on the offensive end. That offensive rebound percentage sits at 20%, which ranks him among the league's best per minute. He's constantly giving Golden State extra possessions, something they've needed in tight games. His ability to grab boards in traffic, despite being undersized for a center at 6'9", continues to be one of his best skills. Looney's also handing out 1.6 assists per game. That number might not jump off the page, but it speaks to his role as a facilitator in the Warriors' motion offense. He sets rock-solid screens and makes smart passes from the post or the top of the key. Whether it's finding Curry curling off a screen or hitting a cutter, Looney knows how to keep the ball moving. Defensively, he's still as solid as they come. Looney averages 0.6 steals and 0.7 blocks per game. That's about what he's done over his career, but he's had some standout moments this season, like his 4-block game against Portland back on December 5th. That night, he also grabbed 11 rebounds and added 2 steals in just 21 minutes. Those are game-changing numbers. Looney's efficiency is still top tier. He's shooting 58.9% from the field, mostly on putbacks, lobs, and short shots around the rim. He's not taking many attempts, but when he does, he makes them count. He's also turning the ball over just 0.8 times per game, which is low for a big man. His decision-making is one of his strengths, and he rarely makes mistakes on either end. One stat that really stands out is his plus-minus. Looney's sitting at plus 7.2 on the season, one of the best marks on the team. There was a game where he finished plus 11, while Trayce Jackson-Davis was minus 33. That highlights just how much of a difference Looney makes when he's on the court. On defense, his advanced metrics tell the same story. He's grabbing 3.9 defensive rebounds per game, and his total rebound percentage is 23%. He leads the Warriors bench unit in that category and ranks high across the league. His hands are active too, averaging 3.1 deflections per 36 minutes. That's more than double what Jackson Davis is averaging in the same category. As a rim protector, Looney is quietly having one of his best years. He's blocking 1.6 shots per 36 minutes, the best pace of his career. His screen assists are also off the charts. He's averaging 7 per 36 minutes, leading the team and helping shooters like Curry and Hield get open looks. Looney's defensive rating is estimated around 103, putting him at the top of the Warriors' rotation. When he's on the floor, Golden State has one of the top 10 defensive ratings in the league. He's also holding opponents to around 54% shooting at the rim. The league average for centers is 66%, so Looney's work as a rim deterrent has been elite this season. He started the year strong. In October and November, he was averaging 8.4 rebounds per game, along with 0.8 steals and 0.6 blocks in 16.8 minutes. Early posts on X from @WarriorsMuse highlighted that he was leading the league in rebounds per 36 minutes with 18. That presence on the glass helped Golden State get out to a 12-3 start. One of his best games came on November 7th against the Rockets. Looney had 11 rebounds and 2 steals in a 105-98 win. He controlled the paint and made sure Houston wasn't getting second-chance opportunity. Games like that are why he's so valuable, even when the box score doesn't fully capture it. In December and January, Looney had a stretch where he averaged 1 block per game over 10 games. His plus-minus during that span was plus 15, despite the team struggling with a 4-9 record. He helped stabilize the defense, keeping the Warriors competitive even during a slump. Since the All-Star break, Looney has been a rock From February 27th through March 20th, he's averaging around 5.5 points, 7 rebounds, and almost 1 block per game. His plus-minus is sitting around plus 10 in that stretch, showing just how impactful he's been in the Warriors' surge back up the Western Conference standings. Kevon Looney's value doesn't come from flashy highlights or big scoring nights. It comes from doing all the little things that win games: boxing out, setting screens, rotating on defense, and staying calm in chaotic situations. As the Warriors push toward the playoffs, his steady presence will be critical. Whether he's backing up or closing games with Draymond Green, Looney might not get the headline, but he's still one of Golden State's most important players. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.